This is Gotham TV Podcast, episode 85, where we have an exclusive interview with David Mazouz of Gotham over at Heroes Villains Fan Fest London.
I'm David Mazouz, and you're listening to Gotham TV Podcast.
Welcome back, Gothamites. This is Derek. I'm one of your hosts of Gotham TV Podcast. John isn't with me today, but he was with me when we got the chance to meet David Mazouz, who plays Bruce Wayne on Gotham, as I'm sure you know. Really lovely interview. Really enjoyed it. Had a great time. This was over at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest London, an event where there were 6 members of the cast of Gotham, including Malevolent Amelia, who was played the Ogre in Season 1, Sean Pertwee, Drew Powell, Robin Lord Taylor, Jessica Lucas, and David Mazouz himself. Got the chance to meet up with him and sit down and talk all about some great fun stuff. He's a really intelligent guy and really thoughtful answers. I hope you enjoy our interview with him. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, just go over to gothamtvpodcast.com/iTunes and you can pick up our episode reviews as they come out each week. We'll also have a very special interview, an exclusive interview with Robin Lord Taylor and Drew Powell, also at Heroes Villains Fan Fest. So this one is our hero interview. That one will be the villains interview. So without further ado, take it away, David.
Hi, this is Derek. I'm one of your hosts.
Hi, this is John, one of your other hosts.
And we've got a very special guest with us for our podcast today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm David Mazouz, and I play Bruce Wayne on Gotham.
Excellent. Welcome on board. It's so good to have you with us for this podcast.
Great to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, we're coming from Heroes Villain Fan Fest in London. The huge Gotham event, really. Loads of the cast have been here for the show.
Yeah, I think there was like 6 of us on the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It was it's really nice because I do a lot of these conventions, and a lot of times it's only me. Sometimes it's only me and Sean.
Right.
But it's great when we have a really big one like this, and
Yeah.
the whole Gotham family can come and kind of unite.
Absolutely. And is there much difference between the US conventions and the UK convention that you've seen
I
today?
think the UK conventions are cooler.
Yeah.
Because the accents are so much cooler.
Excellent. You get to hear everybody sounding like
Yeah.
Sean.
Exactly. Sean doesn't sound so weird here.
Excellent.
These people sound normal to Sean. No, it's cool because in the US, when you go to, like, say a convention in Tennessee, like say in Nashville, you ask people where they're from, and they always say, like, oh, I'm from some little town in the suburbs of Nashville. You ask people where they're from here, there's Finland, Italy, France, Switzerland, Belgium, Denmark. Like, it's just all over. And I'm a geography buff and a history buff, so it's just so cool to meet. Like, the fact that all these people, like, it just makes you realize, like, how close different countries can be to each other. Like,
Absolutely.
Coming from America, it takes 6 hours to get out of California.
Like, what's it like working with Sean, with Danny Cannon as well? Like, what's the working with people from the UK?
There's so many people from the UK.
All the Brits on set.
Yeah.
Aaron Richards, obviously, as well.
Yeah, Aaron's from Wales.
Yeah.
Sean, obviously, I work with him probably the most intimately from the UK, but also Danny, like you said, Danny Cannon, he's British. Bruno Heller, our creator, is also British.
Of course.
I mean, it's amazing. It's like everybody's great on the show.
Yeah. It's great exposure to all the, like, different cultures, different people from whole host of different places.
And it's interesting because I was talking to Sean about this a while ago, and in the superhero world, like, not even just DC, but in, like, the entire superhero world, DC, Marvel, all the big ones.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of British characters.
Not really.
And Alfred is, like, one of the only ones.
That's true, yeah.
And, like, the only other one I can think of is Jarvis from Iron Man.
Of course.
But he's a computer, so he doesn't really count.
Exactly.
And so, like, I mean, it's so great to be able to have that. I don't know why there are so many Americans in the comic world.
Absolutely.
Like, why?
We have to give a shout out to Peggy Carter from Marvel, because she's here today, and Hayley Atwell plays her. So she's another great British superhero.
Yeah.
So we have to give her a little shout out.
But they're limited.
Sean's really, when we interviewed him previously, he was really high praise for you. Like, what's it like the other way? What's it like working with Sean?
He's terrible. I hate everything about him. No, I love Sean. Sean really is besides the fact that he's always there looking out for me on set, always really taking care of me, he's such a good guy. Yeah. And he's an amazing actor. I looked up to him so much. I learned so much from him every time I work with him.
Yeah.
And just being around him, he's so funny. He's such a nice guy, and he really cares about me and about everybody that he's with. And I feel like our relationship, like the Bruce Alfred relationship, as you can see on the screen, is a very, very special one.
Absolutely.
And it's very intimate. It's unlike anything that I can think of. Because first of all, it's ever flowing. It's constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of started out as a butler-master relationship, then turned into a parent-son relationship, and then now they're kind of at the point where they're partners and they're working together and they're equals. And because of that, it's such a special, unique, dynamic relationship. But besides the fact that like kind of the stages that they go through, they really care about each other in a very, very special way. And I don't think that's all fake. That's not all for the show. That's some of that does come from the special relationship that Sean and I have.
Absolutely.
Is there a particular like storyline between Bruce and Alfred that you really kind of like hooked into, or like thought it was a really good development for these two characters?
Yes, there's a very, very, very strong one. At the end of the season.
Oh, right.
And I'm not just saying that just because I don't want to talk about it, but
teasers.
My very, very favorite scene ever to shoot. I don't know how it's going to turn out because it hasn't aired yet in America even.
Of course, yeah.
It's part of the 2-part season finale, the 2-hour season finale of season 3, and there is this one scene. I mean, it's kind of like the whole arc building up to it as well, but specifically there's one scene, and you'll see what I mean, between Alfred and Bruce. That is, it really shows how much Alfred is to Bruce, and the fact that he represents everything, the core of Bruce's values and Batman's values.
Excellent.
Lie in Alfred. And, Alfred is the only person that Bruce knew before the pilot. Mm-hmm. Everybody else in the show, every single other character Bruce met or was introduced to after his parents died, after the events of our show started.
Yeah.
Alfred is the only person that Bruce knew growing up. And there's just something really, really special that I don't think can be explained in words between the two of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good relationship. Comes across so strongly on the show. Definitely, our biggest, I think, one of our favorites has been with Reggie, the friend of Alfred that comes back into Bruce's life. That's been a great scene.
Yeah, that was really great, and I particularly love that because it really showed what Alfred could have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it showed a darker side to Alfred in bringing his out his past.
Absolutely.
But also, Reggie kind of was trying to influence Bruce in this very negative kind of way.
Yeah.
And Alfred was kind of the light side of that. And that's something that's a very common theme in Gotham. Bruce kind of straddling the dark and the good.
Yeah.
The good and the bad, the dark and the light. And in that specific situation, it was really Alfred kind of pulling Bruce back from this negative influence of Reggie.
Excellent. We have got one question from one of our listeners, or two actually, but one from the first one from Doug Green, who says, "How did you approach playing two characters in this season with 514A and Bruce, obviously the Brucelganger and Bruce? How did you approach playing the two characters differently?"
Brucelganger.
The Brucelganger.
I'm going to use that. I've been trying to come up with a clever name for the doppelganger. The Brucelganger is really good.
I think David can have that, right?
Yeah. So playing Bruce and the Brucelganger, how did I approach that? I mean, okay, so first of all, when I first... This was very interesting because I had no warning that this was coming on at all. Normally, when something huge happens to a character or a character's storyline, the writers kind of give you in advance beforehand and say, hey, by the way, this is going to happen in 3 scripts from now. Be prepared. I had no, like when Bruce found the quote unquote wing cave at the end of season 1, I knew that was going to happen. I knew some of the bigger stuff that's going on in season 3 was going to happen beforehand. But this, I had no idea. So I opened the script, and all of a sudden there's this at the very last page of season 2. There's this doppelganger with Bruce Wayne. I was like, what? Wait, what's going on here? And I had no idea what it was. And then the next day I talked to the writers about it. And I talked to Bruno, our creator, and he was like, just wait and see.
Excellent.
And so I was like, okay. And so we got to season 3, and I mean, my initial reaction was shock, but after that, it was really gratitude to the writers for giving me such a challenge, because it is a challenge to be able to play, to have to play two completely different characters, and I do see them as two completely different characters, and not one as a version of the other.
Right.
But I see them as two completely different characters in the same project, in the same show, and oftentimes in the same scene. And so the one thing that I really wanted to make sure of when approaching this was that these were different people.
Yeah.
And also the fact that this other character, this Bruce Ganger, was human, and that he suffered himself. You know, he was born in a lab. He was sent off into the world, and he was completely lost, and had no purpose, and was desperate for somebody to notice him, somebody to believe in him, or for just something to do. And at the same time, because he had no human interaction, he had kind of no awareness of social etiquette, and a lot of what he did was kind of like what a 3-year-old would do. If he wanted something, he would just take it, kind of not really conscious of the fact that what he's doing might be inappropriate.
But effectively having superpowers as well as a character is kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole. He's a very, very layered character.
Definitely.
And so I really wanted to make sure that, but also at the same time, I wanted to make sure that these characters, Bruce and the Bruce Ganger, were different. I didn't want to play them the same way. Just one was Michael Wick and one wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to be clear that this was a very different person.
Absolutely. Great job, definitely.
Yeah. The second question is from Claire Payne, one of our listeners. Says, what one thing has your character done that has helped your character to develop to where they are now in season 3?
Just one big moment that's happened.
One big moment. I feel like there's been so many. I feel like the most obvious one is parents being killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's an obvious answer, so I'm going to try to come up with something a little more original.
It's the first time we've heard you say it, so that's okay.
Okay. But that's been explored in every version of the Batman mythos, and that's kind of been the reason for Bruce Wayne, some rich kid, taking on the responsibility of protecting Gotham in every incarnation of Batman that's existed. So I feel like it's not a very... I feel like I could say that, and it'll be true. It is a big moment that has shaped Bruce in season 3, but specifically for our version of Bruce, I think one moment that has shaped him is the moment at the end of the premiere of season 2, when Bruce was opening his father's letter, when he very first got into the Wayne cave. And his father basically said to him, "You could go down this path of responsibility and duty to Gotham. It's going to kill you. It's going to be extremely hard, but you could do it. But don't do it.
Right.
Choose happiness instead. Or you could do this only if you feel a very strong calling." And obviously, we never even see Bruce hesitate. He never even considers to choose happiness, even though his father so desperately urges him to. And of course, Bruce holds his father in very, very high regard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's because he knows exactly what his father's talking about. And he does feel that calling.
Definitely.
And that kind of, I think that it was never really explored so much in the following episodes, but I think that really awakens a kind of sense of calling inside of him. And he says to himself, "I'm going to take this on. I'm going to commit to this." And that resolve has only been strengthened as the episodes have progressed.
That was a great moment. Like, will we see the Wayne Cave come back at all? Do we know?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know the answer. So it's not even like I'm hiding it from you. I have no idea. I'm sorry.
Excellent. I think we've got to about wrap it up now, but one big question. So everybody always asks the question of, are you going to put the cape on? I just want to know which of the costumes would you like to wear? If you had a choice of all of the Batman costumes over the years, from the most recent, obviously, Ben Affleck's super suit to obviously all the other costumes that we've seen, which one would you choose to wear if you had a choice?
First of all, I love that question.
Yep.
Does it have to be a live action?
It can be one of the cartoon costumes or one of the comic book costumes.
I think I'm gonna go with the. I've never thought about this, so
Catch you unawares.
I'm sure I'm going to go home and think about it and be like, oh, I should have said this. But what's coming to me now is, I think my favorite one is the Batman costume from the Court of Owls storyline.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
I love that one.
Scott Snyder's storyline. Sorry, and Greg Capullo's artwork.
Yeah, Greg Capullo's Scott Snyder. Yeah, I think it's really cool. The kind of gray with the elongated bat symbol. On the chest. I really like that.
Very cool.
One small little question: when you get your license, which Batmobile would you like to drive?
I really like the Ben Affleck Batmobile.
Oh, yes.
I think I'm going to have to go Ben Affleck Batmobile.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, David Mazouz, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
really good to have you with us.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
That's it. That's the end of our interview with David Mazouz. Such a good guy, and it's so nice of him to take the time out from a really busy event at Heroes Villains Fan Fest. He really took the time. He had cues out the door for him every time we saw him over the weekend. So happy that he got the chance to sit down with us and talk to us for a while. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, remember we do have our interview with Robin Lord Taylor and Drew Powell, also from Heroes Villains Fan Fest, coming up later this week. And we also have weekly reviews of Gotham Season 3 coming out every Wednesday. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, just go to gothamtvpodcast.com/iTunes or search for us on any good or evil podcast catcher. Just search for Gotham TV Podcast and our podcast will come popping up right there for you. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll be back later in the week with John for our review of Gotham Season 3, Episode 8, Blood Rush. Bye now.
I'm David Mazouz, and you're listening to Gotham TV Podcast.